begin with this mantra. Tava kathamritam tatta jivanam kavi bhiriritam kalmashapaham Sravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhuridajana. Sri Ramakrishna most of the time used to talk with the household devotees. That's the reason he used to talk about the spirituality, everything, all the time, only spirituality, but in a mild tone. So that the devotees who are there with different type of responsibilities should not feel that we are let out, what we are doing. So he used to slowly, but afterwards, when today in the discussion we'll find how emphatically he is giving the stress on spiritual practices. That is very, very important. When you listen to the spiritual talks or read the spiritual books or visit the holy places or do some programs, that is good. But what about the personal practices? Otherwise, our mind is not getting totally cleaned. So that is very, very important. The last time when we were reading, we read that to page 455, today we'll be reading. One devotee said, isn't action the aim of life? Karma. That we should do the work. And even the businessmen also, I have seen some of the places, the business houses in India, they have mentioned karma-i dharma. But what do you mean by karma dharma? The karma is dharma, but what type of dharma? It's not so easy. Karma, action, without attachment is of course dharma or religion. It's not so easy. So the business when I am doing for some profit. So obviously there are many attachments, competitions. Simply quoting from Swami Vivekananda is not solving the problem. So majority of us unnecessarily giving our solace in our mind, oh, we are doing the dharma. But here Sri Ramakrishna, he very clearly mentioned the aim of life is the attainment of God. Aim of life is the attainment of God. Then he talked about the Shambhu Malik. If the God appears before you, what you are going to ask? Oh, give me some money so that I can do this and that. No. Then we find he is giving the stress. Therefore, I say again that work is only the first step. Whatever the work that we do, the social work, is only the first step. This is for the serious spiritual seekers. We know that in the Bhagavad Gita, it is very clearly, it says there are 4 different types. And only very few are there who are very serious. So that is why, therefore, I say again that work is only the first step. It can never be the goal of life. Devote yourself to spiritual practice and go forward. Devote yourself to spiritual practice. Here there is a question. What are the spiritual practices? The most of the time, if you go, majority of the people, and particularly in India, anything that we do in the name of God, whatever we do, so many temples everywhere. The temples, the churches and mosques and everywhere, wherever you go. Big, big churches, big, big mosques, big, big temples. And is that the religion? Is that the spiritual practices? So that we have to understand very clearly. Devote yourself to spiritual practice and go forward. That means deeper into the spiritual life. Through practice, you will advance more and more in the path of God. Why again and again the question of practice is coming? The path of God. This whole world is nothing but the manifestation of the God. Not only the Vedanta, even the Bhakti, they are also telling God, because last time we were reading in the Bhagavata, that the God, He is making Himself two. One man and one woman. And then all these things from Him. If that is so, this world is also the same manifestation of God? Of course, true. We are nothing but that pure being. But we don't understand that. Why? Again the Lord's Maya, God's Maya. We are thinking, oh yes, when we listen to that, then we think, yes, it must be so. Then after some time, again we forget. I and me and mine, all these things come back again and again. So that's why the spiritual practice and practice and practice are necessary. And what are those spiritual practices? We will discuss quoting from different scriptures. And Sri Ramakrishna, as his speciality, whenever he says practice, go forward, at last he will come to know that God alone is real and all else is illusory, and that goal of life is attainment of God. Then, just to make it very easy to understand, he gives a beautiful illustration through a story. A woodcutter used to go inside the forest to collect some fagots, so that he used to bring it back to the market and sell. And then one brahmachari met him in that forest. He said, why you are just here? Go deeper, go forward, go forward. Then one day woodcutter, he was thinking the brahmachari is a holy man. He asked me to move forward. Let me try. Then he went inside the forest and he found that is all sandalwood, so costly. Only ordinary wood that he used to cut and sell, now he gets the sandalwood. And naturally he was richer. And afterwards again he thought, but brahmachari wants to go inside again, move forward, let me go little deeper. He found the silver mines, then the gold mines, then the precious gems, so many things. So the idea is, the more we go towards God, the more the spiritual things come up and up and up. So one after another. That's why Sri Ramakrishna, after the story, he is telling that, therefore I say that, whatever you may do, you will find better and better things if only you go forward. If only you go forward. Friends, in our this humble life, many of us, we have noticed, in my life also I have noticed, a little the name of God that we take, in the name of God that we work. So many great people, they come forward, they help us, and with great respect. Recently, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, who passed away, he went to Andaman and he inaugurated our two buildings, Karma Mandir and Jnana Mandir. There, on the dais, before everyone gathering, he touched my feet. And he said, the Swami is the main. Don't say Atal Bihari Amar Rai. Swami. The Swami means Swami Ji, he meant, not me. But he never hesitated to touch the feet. of a very humble person like me, I am no compare with him in knowledge and the things that he has done, the achievement, nothing. Why he did that? Because the name of God that I take, that's all, nothing else. Not that the personal. So this is the way we saw there's so many places people come, they give respect and they help and they do so many things. Why the name of God? Just name of God. When you read the lives of these great saints, the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, and particularly recently we were discussing about Ramakrishna Nandaji. His Ananda, his joy was Sri Ramakrishna, Shashi Maharaj. He was very good in mathematics. He was a brilliant student. Then he became his disciple. And so dedicated that he always used to wait for his command. And that is the way we found that he is getting so much of help, all the time, every time. That is really unique. And that proves that God is there. And when the problems are cropping up, sometimes we read in the life the history of the Ramakrishna movement, that some people, they complained against the Ramakrishna mission. They were not very happy with the Ramakrishna mission because Swami Vivekananda became very popular and the slowly organization, well, naturally, there's some jealousy and all that. They complained to the British government. And then the Lord, he declared the Ramakrishna mission is an asylum of the anti-government people. That is dangerous. So obviously, the devotees will never come and never help us. What will happen? Ma Sharada Muni Devi said, why don't you go to that person and say, we are monks. We are practicing spirituality and helping them. She told to the Swamiji, he was General Secretary, Sharadananda. Sharadananda thought, mother doesn't know, to get an appointment with that Lord is so difficult. But anyway, since mother has said, let me go, he went and he told, I like to meet. Immediately appointment was fixed and he went and met that gentleman and said exactly what the mother said. We are monks practicing spirituality and teaching that broad-mindedness, love, service to others. We have no connection with the politics. Immediately, next day, he changed his statement. Can you imagine the power of God? Is it possible just with the effort of the human being? Power of God. Every time, everywhere, we find that. Even in my personal life, in Andaman, the small plot of land we got, the then governor, he wanted to take that land, and I was bewildered. I was thinking what to do because he was the person. He was the executive and also judiciary. There is no other thing. So what to do and what not to do, and that way, suddenly one person came, and particularly his wife, and she told Swamiji, how can I serve you? I don't know not to, but can you, since you were going for the dinner with that governor, can you tell him that we are Ramakrishna mission, this. She knew us. From next day again, whole thing changed. And like this, so many incidents I can go on quoting. And that gives the proof. Yes, if you go one step, you find so many things. So we should not stop over here. We have to move. Not to get this recognition from this world, but to get the peace, happiness, joy, everything that we usually try to get from this world. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, work is by no means the goal of life. Go forward. And then you'll be able to perform unselfish work. This is important. Unless and until you go on practicing spirituality, unselfish work is very difficult. So when Swami Vivekananda is introducing work, he is telling unselfish work. In the Karma Yoga, in the first chapter itself, he is telling through unselfish work, you can reach to the same goal where Buddha by knowledge and Christ by his devotion reached. Unselfish work. Unselfish work is possible when you are practicing spirituality. Because you are not attached to this name and fame. Some clappings of the people, appreciation of the people, certification of the people. You don't bother about that. Then this unselfish work is possible. But again, I say that it is most difficult to perform unselfish work. Therefore, with love and longing in your heart, pray to God. Now the God is teaching how to pray to God. This is very interesting. God is teaching how to pray to God. And how to? O God, grant me devotion at thy lotus feet. This is the prayer. Grant me devotion at thy lotus feet. Even the devotion we cannot generate unless the God gives it to us. Feet and reduce my worldly duties. Please grant me the boon that the few duties I must do may be done in a detached spirit. Whatever the duties I do, I should be able to do it with a detached spirit. Otherwise, suffering. Sometimes some people are praising their happiness, sometimes it is not, then the suffering. So this detached way we should do. In the Bhagavata also, we found that when the Lord created, the Supreme Lord, created the Brahma, the firstborn, and said, you go and start creation, I want to enjoy. What the first thing Brahma did? He bowed down, then he went around that holy being and prayed, please grant me that I can work with a detached spirit. That's the first teaching of the Bhagavata. The detached spirit. If you go still farther, you will realize God, you will see Him. In time, you will converse with Him. Because the devotee, they like to have the devotion and this, so that you can converse with the God. Then the conversation went to indifferent, and then he was talking with the Pratap Chandra Majumdar, a very famous person in those days. The Pratap Chandra Majumdar was also the representative of the Brahma Samaj in this parliament of religion. As Vivekananda came as a representative of the Hindus, Pratap Chandra Majumdar came as a representative of the Brahma Samaj. But anyway, he could not make that much impression as Vivekananda could. But Pratap Chandra, he was very senior to Narendranath. That time Narendranath was a student. He never even took the sannyasa. So Sri Ramakrishna was talking with him. Why? Pratap Chandra Majumdar, Keshav Chandra Sen, they were all Brahmanas. They were not the followers or the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. But Sri Ramakrishna always wanted to help these people to understand what is spirituality. Among so many people, at least a few handful, they have come to understand or to practice religion. Sri Ramakrishna all the time used to go to him or to invite them to him or try to, without hurting them, not changing their path, he wanted to direct them towards spirituality. So here we can understand the religion and spirituality, the difference when you find this Sri Ramakrishna is talking. He is telling to Pratap, let me tell you something. You are a learned and intelligent and serious-minded soul. Why I am telling? Because of this. Keshav and you are like two brothers, Gaur and Nitai. You have had enough lectures, arguments, quarrels, discussions, tensions. Can such things interest you any more? Now gather your whole mind and direct it to God. Plunge deep into God. So this is the thing. So many things already we have done. Again, why? The plunge deep into God. But majority of us, we cannot understand that. Still we go on hankering and for those things which we have done so many times. Visiting places, meeting people, doing this, doing that. Young minds maybe. But now it is all over. All those experiences we have already done. So Ramakrishna is saying, plunge deep into God. Pratap, he said, yes sir, you are right. That is surely my only duty now, but I am doing all these things only to perpetuate Keshav's name. The Keshav passed away, so he is telling only to keep that name alive. And Sri Ramakrishna, like a father, God himself is teaching. But you know that you have to have the mind to understand that. Now we are teaching and you people are listening. Just think of whose teaching we are giving. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. When that person, in person, he is telling, even then the people are not impressed. How many people are here? Just something, some musician, some other things, but immediately it will be completely full. And when the God was speaking, even then very handful of people, because that is the rarest of the rare thing. God gives the Maya in such a way, majority of the people are bewildered with that. Oh, so many things are going on, we should do this, we should do that. Even at the age of 70, 80, they will be going into the gathering, they will be having the talk and chatting and all that thing, even up to that. Not understanding that the days are limited. Every day one should remember death is approaching every day, step by step. End is coming. And what will happen at the end? Unless we understand what we are actually in reality. So Sri Ramakrishna, those who are sincere about the spirituality, those who are mocking about spirituality, criticizing spirituality, for them it's okay, let them continue. But those who are trying a little, for them Sri Ramakrishna is telling that when he is telling to that Pratap, he is saying like this, with a smile he said, no doubt you say, now that you are doing all this to keep his name alive, his name is Keshav. But in a few days you won't feel that the way. Listen to a story. Then he is giving a story. A man built a house and then there was a gusting wind and he was going on praying to God. Oh, this is the house. He was thinking wind, that means his son is Hanuman. So if I say that this house belongs to Hanuman, the wind god, the Vayu, won't disturb. Oh God, this is the house of the Hanumanji, please don't break it. Then to Indra, then ultimately he left all that. Let the building go to hell, I don't care. So like that, when he is given through the story, you can read afterwards, through the story he wants to say, sometimes we think, we must have to do this, otherwise who is going to do? Nobody is doing, I must do that. So that way we always think. Then afterwards, the day comes, we can understand that I have to go and I don't bother. Before me also it continued, after me also it will continue. We don't bother about anyone, it will go in its own way. So Sri Ramakrishna then afterwards is telling, You don't have to perpetuate Keshav's name. Remember that he achieved all his success through the will of God. Sometimes some people become very successful. It's the will of God. And slowly the ahamkara comes. That is the difficult thing. In individual mind, when that ahamkara, the ego comes, he is destroyed. In the mind of the society, again the society is also destroyed. The same way, the moment this ahamkara comes, through the divine will his work was established. Through the divine will it will be disintegrating. What can you do about it? Now it is your bounded duty to give your entire mind to God. Look at it, God, again and again. Advising him, inviting him to plunge deep into the ocean of his love. But no, Keshav abruptly left. Then he is giving Sri Ramakrishna, sometimes he himself used to sing and he was a very good singer. Now this time he is singing Dub 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 Rup Shagare Amar Mon. It's a beautiful song. Dive deep, O my mind, dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depths, there you will find the gem of love. Talatal patal khunjle babire prem ratnadan. There's a gem of love for God, devotion for God. So that way he is continuing. But when Sri Ramakrishna is telling that, it is you must gather your mind and direct it to God, plunge deep into God. What does it mean? Let us discuss a little this thing. It is a plunge deep into the God means upasana. In the Sanskrit they say it is upasana, upashitavyam, upasana. What is that upasana? And the deep and sincere practice for the God realization to prepare our mind. Sincere practices. What are the practices then? So we say the upasana, that we have to practice spiritually. What is the spiritual practice? Just you come over here to the temple and then only sit and then pray. That will be upasana. That much time, 1 hour, and then afterwards, suppose we are moving here and there for 12 hours. Out of 12 hours, if we are spending 2 hours even, is that sufficient? What about the 10 hours? So that upasana means completely different. One cannot just by wish start practice. That is also another thing. Just you think that I am going to practice the spirituality from today. That is also not possible. Try. If we think that we are going to practice so you will stop all work and let us practice, that also is not possible. Very difficult. That also needs God's grace. Otherwise, when sometimes some people are doing the practices and also they get some dry time, when they are practicing after some time, what we are doing, or sometimes some important work will come. And the practice was slowly going on, suddenly it will be disrupted. That is all Maya. That God is giving us that type of thought that we should practice. Again, the God is giving us all the hindrances. And here we have to pursue to God to move away all those hindrances. No, you should remove those things. Then only those hurdles we like to overcome is possible by the grace of God. Panchadashi is a famous book. In that Panchadashi it says, Dhyana Deepa. It says, Upasanasya Samarthyat. Upasanasya Samarthyat Vidyutpatti Bhavittata. Due to the upasana only, vidya means the knowledge. Due to the upasana only, the knowledge that gives liberation, that dawns. That is very important. Upasanasya samarthat. When we are practicing the upasana, so why we should practice spirituality? That means only to get that strength so that we can break that ignorance and can enter into the realm of knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna meant by plunge into the deep into God. In Bhagavad Gita we find that the Lord Krishna is also giving the same type of instruction, 10th chapter, 10th verse. There the Krishna is telling, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ena mam upayanti te. Tesham, to them, satata yuktanam, satata, ever, steadfast, continuously with God. Friends, we have to remember these things. What is that upasana? The upasana means giving the mind at the feet of God. There are only two things. Again and again, I feel and I say, one is this world, another is God. There is no other third one. Only these two. The God is one, and this world, the Jagat, though it is only one, but in many, many, many varieties. When we go to the confectionery shops, we find so many varieties of sweets. All are made of milk. Mostly milk, and some other things are there, mostly milk. The one milk, it has taken so many forms. But God is only one. Now, I can give the mind to the world, I can give the mind to the God. That is the mind. The body has nothing to do with this. Whatever you say, the body will do. Whatever the mind thinks, the body will do. But now, at this moment, what the mind will do, that is my decision. But who is this me? Again, I am the composition of all my karma phalas. And from the karma phalas, the thoughts are coming. And the thoughts are imposing on me that you should do this, that you should not do this. So obviously there are so many varieties of complications are there. Who can solve this problem? That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you must go to God and pray. Please solve this problem so that I can get the urge, the devotion, attachment, love for you. Tesham satatu yuktanam. When the God is giving that power to us, then only it is possible for us to get attached to God. Otherwise it is impossible. So dry. Just a picture or an image, nothing is there. Now sometimes when you go to the temple, we find so many crowd and it's very difficult to even see the image. But if you go to an off time when there is no one, not even the priest, what will do with that image? We go and stand before the image and we don't feel that emotion or the devotion. So what is that? Why it is? Because I am not having devotion within me, love within me. Now when a baby is coming to you, if it is related with you, maybe your own grandson, the love, attachment, affection that you will feel, others won't. They will love the baby, it's okay, the child is coming, it's okay, that much. But your attachment to that particular child, completely different because you are attached to that. So when our mind really get attached to God, that is called satata yukta. That is constantly yukta because God is mine. I cannot forget God. Oh, morning, God must have got up. Now the God is doing this, now the God. Constantly we are going on thinking. And bhajatam priti purvakam. Not as I have to do, I am doing. With great love I am serving. Bhajatam, when I am worshipping God, serving God, I am serving God with great love. These are the two things. Constant remembering God and serving or remembering or working for God with love. When these two are there, Satata Yukta, Priti Purvaka, Bhajana. These are the two things. If it is there, then what happens? God helps. How helps? Buddhi Yogam Tam Dadami. Either God gives them that particular intellect, the thought by which they can understand what is correct and what is incorrect. Tena mam upayanti te. This buddhi yoga by which they realize me. Otherwise it is impossible. To realize God is not a matter of joke. It's not a child's game. Just we go and do that and immediately we realize, no, not like that. It's very, very, very difficult. Why? The God has made our mind completely opposite way towards the world. And world is there with all its marketing things, all wonderful things. So the mind is more comfortable with these worldly things than to God. So that he is telling, when and how one can do this upasana, if we ask. When and how. We understand about the cleanliness of the body. They say always, be clean before taking the name of God. We can understand the cleanliness of the body. But what about the cleanliness of the mind? How to clean or purify the mind? The Bhagavan Shiv, the great Lord, when talking to Parvati, he is telling in that way, Bachikam, Kaikam ba opi, Manasam bajathamati, Aradhane pareshasya, Aradhane pareshasya bhavasuddhi vidhiyate, Mahanirvan Tantra. Mahanirvan Tantra very wonderfully explained, Bachikam. We are discussing about God. This moment, we are getting our mind purified. If I am sincerely reading and discussing, my mind is getting purified. If you are sincerely, attentively listening, your mind is getting purified. Bachikam. Kaikam. Sometimes we calm. One of my disciples, she comes once in a week, either Monday or Tuesday, and she'll be cleaning the shrine room. Very nicely she is cleaning, and also cleaning my room, and then she is going. And some people, they come and very diligently will be coming, offering prana, and a very nice way they will either cooking or cleaning the trashes and all, they themselves they do. This is called Kaikam. I am not doing it for Swami Ishatmananda. I am not doing to impress the Swami. I am doing it for God. This is very, very important. Otherwise, we go to that particular Swami and when he is not there, we don't go. Your spiritual progress goes stop over there and you cannot make it. Why? You have taken only the person, but not the ideology. This ideology is very, very important. That person through whom I am getting this ideology, I have respect, I have love, that's good. Of course that is necessary. But if it stops over there, then you are not making any progress. So that is why they say, Swami Vivekananda came over here, he never talked about Ramakrishna, his own guru. He was here for 4 or 5 years, he never talked about Sri Ramakrishna. Only one lecture he gave in Europe, my master. When you went back, usually other people were asking, why you have not talked about our master? He said, why the person? But his principles, but his ideologies, that I have given to them. And what is the ideology of Sri Ramakrishna? Love and unselfishness. Just love, pure love and unselfishness. Whoever comes for the initiation, I always say these two things. You are accepting Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna is an ideal. What is that? Pure love and unselfishness. All through your life, this will be the goal to achieve these two qualities. Without discrimination, love, and not bothering for anything in this world. Because I am sure that is all temporary, and with me it will also end. Whatever things I have achieved, suddenly if I die, what will happen to those things? Automatically some people will take. Why should I bother about that? So that is the Satata Yuktana, constant remembering God. And here, Bhachikam. When you were talking about, sometimes all our devotees, when they are talking, they always quote about Sri Ramakrishna, or they will discuss about the gospel, or reading the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhachikam, Kaikam, helping physically. Even I have seen in the Belur, the elderly Swamis, they can't even do anything. Still they will come out and they will try to pick up some of the dry leaves that has fallen over there. They will pick it up and then throw. And if possible, whatever possible, they will always do. Why? Even in the afternoon, they'll be going and sitting in some corner when the devotees are coming, talking to them, telling them about the God, some stories, inspiring words. There's also Kaikam Seva. Through the body, I am helping. Ba Upi or Manasam. Going on remembering God constantly. Going on remembering God. That is very, very, very important. It's all the time within your mind. When you look at the sky, oh my God is sitting over there, I forgot. Immediately you are remembering God. You see some lights, you see the sunset, you see the sunrise, you see the ocean, you see the black cloud all over. Enjoy the nature at the same time. Think the Creator, the great Creator that has created all these beauties. That is God, my love. So immediately try to go on, repeat the name of that God. Jathamati, or any way. Either singing, when you were singing, you were a very good singer, or you love singing, just put on the song and then try to concentrate on the words and then listen to that. But keep your mind at the feet of God. Or you are going on singing in the morning, that's also. I have seen one of our Swami who developed and he was sure that he is going to die. Shantarupanandaji, you know him all. The Shantarupanandaji never stopped taking the name of God. The moment he understood that days are limited, every moment, every time, the moment he will get up from the sleep, he will go on chanting the name of God, singing. He will stop, hey, how are you? Could you get a good sleep? Go for the breakfast, and then again he will go on singing. He is going and plucking the flowers, arranging the puja, continuously. I have seen an elderly Swami going on taking the name of God. His hand was going on counting the name of God, constant, without stop. So these are the things, Yathamati, or singing, or dancing, or whatever way you feel, Yathamati, the full liberty the Shiva is giving. Kayikam, Bhachikam, Manasam, Jathamati. The when you are talking or discussing or reading, everything, that is called Aradhana. Ma Sharadamani Devi, this is I am quoting from Manirvan Tantra. I don't think that Ma Sharadamani Devi could read this book. But through her spirituality, through her realization, this village lady, she told, somehow you have to keep the mind at the feet of God, that's all, and nothing else. When we are having a small garden and giving the water to the plants, and you are thinking, oh, these fruits I should offer. The first fruit I will offer to God. You are growing something, and you are thinking, when it will grow up and it will give the fruit, the first fruit I will offer to God. What happens? Your mind is at God. Every day you go, oh, I promised that I will give. I must take care. It should not be destroyed. You are thinking about God. You are doing the gardening only, but at the same time you are thinking about God. So that is the way constantly, that's called aradhana, and that is how Sri Mother is telling that you should try to keep your mind constantly at the feet of God. So this is the way. What will happen? Bhava Suddhi, Bhava Samsuddhi. Bhava Suddhi means your mind will get purified. Purification of the mind means purification of the thought. And when the thought is not going to the world, and constantly you are dragging it and putting it at the feet of God, remembering God and just singing, that's why it is better to keep books, good books, in different places. Suppose you are taking the breakfast and nearby some book, just take it, read one page, keep it back. You are thinking of God and some good lines. And that is the way, constantly keeping the mind at the feet of God. While driving, go on repeating the name of God. Or put on a beautiful music and listen to that, some of the words. And this way constantly, and then the time will come, your mind itself will be going on remembering God, and you cannot do anything else except that. So that is the condition. Bachikam kaikam ba api manasam bajathamati aradhane pareshasya bhava shuddhi vidhiyate. That is the vidhana, that is the system. Friends, a very handful of you, I really am happy, some of you always attend this class. To come to this particular place means you have to drive minimum 45 to 1 hour. You should have to have a car, you should have time, and you are coming, and today is Tuesday, next day most of you have to go back to offices, different work responsibilities, but still. So that is the reason it shows that sincerity. Do not forget this teaching. Somehow have to keep the mind at the feet of God, and this is called aradhana of God, and that surely clean the mind. How to clean the mind? This is the way. The physical cleaning we know, we have to bathe and all these and that, but this is called Vedanta Sutra. It's also a very famous book. It says Smaranticha. He is giving different meditation, these, that. Smaranticha. Again, go on just remembering. The Vedanta Sutra, he says, just remember, that will do. And Shiva Shankara, he is telling you, don't bother about bathing and pure place and unpure place. No, never. Just go on taking the name of God, wherever you are. So that is the way one should remember God constantly, all the time. And Vedanta Sutra also prescribes that Smaranticha, go on remembering the divine things. That too is Upasana. When this Upasana, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, plunge your mind, dub thou in Bengali say, you have to go plunge deep into the name of God. Ramakrishna Ramakrishna is talking with Pratap again and again, and he is talking about the Naren. And really, this is very interesting. When this Pratap Majumdar was asking, who is this Naren? Sri Ramakrishna was talking about Naren. And naturally, he got interested. Who is this Naren? Then he said, Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, that's a young boy. Pratap never paid any heed. And same Naren came over here. Both of them, they sat on the same dais and they addressed. And by God's grace, Sri Ramakrishna's blessings, that young boy who was not even having that the experiences like the Pratap Majumdar, but he completely changed the whole audience. 7,000 people, they got up and clapped. That is called God's power. When the God is choosing, yesterday when Swamiji came from Calcutta, I took him to those places. He said, I am only going to see two places. One, where Swamiji sat, that church is there. He sat on the steps of the church, and exactly opposite was a family, the help family, who helped Swamiji, that house, and the place standing where Swamiji gave the talk, the lecture. So these are the three places I should see, and all other places, just you take the photo and send it to me. So like that he was telling. And the photo means it is all available, then why you have come? Come down at least, go. And he was no, I'll sit in the car, you better take the photo. Photo is all available, then why you have come here? So anyway, these are and then he was telling again and again, now my life's dream, it has come true. Now I am full. I am not, nothing is necessary. So that is called devotion. When you hear about that, that is called devotion. This is the place where Swamiji traveled. And this is the place Swamiji stayed. This is the place Swamiji stood. This is the love. And by that way, what actually coming in our mind? Swamiji. And who is Swamiji? Sri Ramakrishna himself. What they did, dharma sthapana. What is that dharma? Love and become unselfish. So these, Sri Ramakrishna is going on telling that you must try and try. But then finally, when he left, Pratap Majumdar, Master Mahashaya, who was recording the conversation, he said he doesn't think that he was impressed by those words. That's why Sri Ramakrishna used to say, he tried to change the Pratap. He did, of course, it helped. Next life, it is. Keshab Chandra Sen, he got a lot of change in that. He was lucky. To understand the true spiritual words and true master, this is also the luck, otherwise very. I know a lady, she was educated, wanted to become a nun, accepted a monk, went to a place and tried to practice, but that particular monk, the person, was not a true monk. And all her emotion and the dream and that broke, shattered, she has come back, now nothing left with her. That is the reason Shankaracharya said, three things are very, very important. Manushyatva, she got that Manushyatva. Mumukshutva, the desire to realize God, she got that too. But the last one, Mahapurusha Samastraya. Oh, that is really very sad. So that is the reason when we have got this great Mahapurusha, Sri Ramakrishna, who is the embodiment of love and unselfishness, we should not misunderstand, and then narrowness should not cripple our mind to accept Him, and let us pray to Him, O God, reduce our duties so that more and more we can devote in taking Your name. Increase our devotion so that we can lovingly serve You. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much. Let us repeat this Pranam mantra and conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpan